Starfield, what's up?
I think it's getting really good hype for a game no one's seen.
Oh, Todd, you just always know what to say. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today, and we're talking about the most hyped game on the internet that everyone knows nothing about. And that game is Starfield. It's in space. It's an RPG from Bethesda Game Studios Maryland. But most importantly, it has walls, it has spacesuits, and we know that PlayStation fans are angry about that because you can't find that in any of their exclusives. So in the name of Todd Howard, we have our hypometers here at max. I want to ask all of you, just go ahead, put a pin in that balloon. Excellent. Well done. Hype lowered. Today, we're talking about some information that had already swirled around Starfield and has swirled yet again. And I get that people are very excited about this. But no, as a Bethesda Game Studios junkie, your boy built this channel off of Bethesda games. I love my Fallout, I love my Elder Scrolls, and the premise of a brand new IP from the company that brought me those games is very much exciting. But know that we know nothing about the game itself. This past weekend, Starfield was the subject of a lot of discussion, surprisingly. And of course, it was the weekend that I went away for a mini vacation. So myself and my girlfriend go out to dinner. We're just chilling there, waiting for some tacos. I'm sitting there on my phone, I'm looking, and I see this headline here. Report, Bethesda Starfield is Xbox exclusive, if that was still a question. Sitting there looking like, what? And my girlfriend's like, whoa, did you have some bad tequila? I'm like, no. I read this weird headline. It says Starfield is exclusive, as if we already didn't know that. So morbid curiosity led to me digging a little bit, and I found the source of this conversation. So Randall Thor, a popular Xbox YouTuber, tweeted out, I had a bunch of messages and super chats about Starfield today where people were saying that Jeff Grubb said it wasn't exclusive or whatever, so I figured I'd tweet this out and have Jeff clear the air since it seems what he says gets twisted by people, lol. To which Jeff says, Starfield is exclusive to Xbox and PC, period. This is me confirming that. Like, go write the story. All right, so yeah, I fall into this bin of people who have been saying this for a while, but this will get into the more broad topic of information flow in our industry, or really the lack thereof, on how the river has run dry. We're going to talk about exclusivity with Starfield. We're going to talk about all that good stuff. So if you're new here and you like Starfield, you like Bethesda stuff, you're interested in my opinions on the games industry, which can get pretty wild, then subscribe. Like button helps out a lot too. Thank you to those of you who've been doing that. It has made a actual substantial difference on the channel. So thank you. Now, like I said, I fall into this bin of people who have been saying this for a while, but it's not all about me, and we'll get to more of that later. I've seen Carrick, my co-host of Defining Duke and Ham Radio, talk about this, say this is going to happen. More importantly, I've seen Randall Thor officially come out and be like, yes, this is 100% going to happen. We're going to see Starfield exclusive to Xbox. Jez Corden, who writes for Windows Central Gaming and also serves as a co-host to the Xbox 2 podcast, actually was pretty adamant about the idea that Bethesda games would be exclusive after the acquisition of Bethesda. I've seen Colt Eastwood say as much. Like, I've seen throughout the entire circle of Xbox and Bethesda creators, people have been saying this for ages. But you know why none of that matters? Do you know why you should not care about any of that? Who cares about who reported what? Guess who said it first? You won't believe it. Take a listen.
If we're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership that we're building, and the creative capability we will be able to bring to market for our Xbox customers. It's going to be the best it's ever been for Xbox after we're done here.
Crazy. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, said it first. He wants to bring great exclusive games to the ecosystem. I wonder if the new IP from Bethesda Game Studios will fall into that bid. Come on, especially when we see the two new IPs coming from Bethesda, Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, are exclusive to PlayStation. So why would this other new IP suddenly be multi-plat? That Xbox doesn't give a shit about rewarding their consumers, about rewarding their fans. Are you kidding me? People really thought they spent $7.5 billion and wouldn't make the brand new IP from Bethesda Game Studios exclusive. Sorry, I don't mean to be really brash about this. That's not my style, but I'm just shocked at the level of denial that is clear here because this is a headline. But to me, what's more important is, well, this is a headline. If this was Fallout is going to be exclusive to Xbox in the future, if this was Elder Scrolls was going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC in the future, I could see this being a whole story because those are established franchises for decades that have been multi-platform. So I understand the importance of emphasizing when this is going to be exclusive, because there is this expectation that's been created for years. But if you don't think that it's a problem, that head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, can sit there and go, this deal is about getting exclusive games to the Xbox ecosystem, and then Jeff Grubb posts a tweet about it actually being confirmed exclusivity, even though Phil Spencer said as much. And then not only that, websites take the tweet and run a mile with it. You see YouTubers grabbing the tweet and making videos going, it's confirmed, it's happening. It was already confirmed. If you don't think any of that's a problem, I don't know what to tell you. It is very much a scary precedent being set that information in our industry can only flow through a handful of sources. And that's no disrespect to Jeff or anyone else who's just doing their job. It's really this very weird mindset that is being accepted in gaming. I know how the internet acts though, okay? I'm not new here. I know people are going to view it as, Maddie wants his clout, Maddie wants his attention. Just give it a rest, okay? As great as that would be if people would acknowledge those reports, I'm proud of what I've built here. And I know that my content speaks for itself. I'm honest, I'm upfront, I'm not confrontational though. I just tell it how it is without being an asshole. I think I make good discussions, news reports, reviews, and podcasts. And I know that this platform that I have here will continue to grow through your support. So leaks or no leaks, I don't care. It's just added information that I want to give to my audience, because the flow of information is important. It shouldn't be this secret exclusive thing. People should know. They should be rewarded with that. That's why they care about the work that we do, on top of the personalities for certain. But this is really for friends of mine. I'm tired of sitting here and watching friends of mine break these stories for months and months and months, saying the same things. Yeah, I've been a part of that process. You've seen it with KOTOR, you've seen it with Starfield, but I've seen it with so many of my friends, Carrick, Skolzy, the list goes on of moments that they have reported something and it ends up just getting washed away because they are considered up-and-comers, because they are not a part of press. It's a really weird, scary mindset. And yeah, there are situations where YouTubers run away with fake information. There are absolutely situations where YouTubers have made up information. And the same thing happens with the press, though. It's happened so many times. Remember K-drama stars? Oh my gosh, that's a throwback for those of you who followed me in 2014. This has been a thing for a while on both ends. So why are YouTube content creators treated in a completely different manner with the information they provide, with arguably sometimes more sources and more authority than the people in the press? So it's not about me. I just want my friends to get the credit they deserve. They work hard. I've seen it beyond my personal circle, time in, time out, and I'll continue to call it out, because it should not just be a group of pipelines, and we should not have tweets being reported on when we already knew the status of Bethesda games and exclusivity from head of Xbox Phil Spencer. It doesn't have that. It doesn't get much more authority than that on a statement. It doesn't. So I'm sorry if this comes across brash compared to my usual content, but this needs just to be said. With that, we have a little bit more information to get into. Once again, it's through a series of tweets, and to not repeat myself, we'll focus more on Starfield with this. Windows Central Gaming posted Starfield could be targeting a Q1 2022 release date, according to a new report. This past weekend, we offered a report from industry heavyweight Jeff Grubb confirming the fact that Starfield is indeed exclusive to Microsoft's Xbox and Windows PC platforms. There was also a range of new leaked screenshots, which I covered here on the channel, purported to be from 2018, alongside whispers that Starfield could launch sooner than expected. Kind of Funny Games, Blessing Adeoye Jr., and VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb have put their names on a major Starfield report detailing the game's launch window. It seems that Starfield could be targeting a Q1 2022 release date, echoing similar rumors from across the net that the upcoming sci-fi RPG is closer than we might have otherwise expected. The details come from an exchange between Grubb and Adeoye Jr., with Grubb confirming in a tweet prior speculation on Kind of Funny Games cast that the game was targeting a Q1 2022 launch window, to which Jeff Grubb says here on Twitter, "You are right about the Starfield release date." Now, earlier that day, I made a promise, because I said we're going to see something along this lines happen, where Skolzy, friend of mine, this is kind of relevant to all of this, said I'd consider Starfield 2022 basically confirmed from what I've been hearing. Seems to be a Q1, most likely March. Lots of releases this fall anyway, and Starfield will have more in-game systems than any other BGS game, so they have a lot of polishing and testing to do. We'll see. And I told Skolzy, I said, I always trust you. We've expected this potential delay for 2022, and I'll be sure to repost this tweet of yours when we see others posting like it has been broken first. So like I said, I'm going to continue fighting that battle, always. But More importantly is the notion of the delay, which is potentially happening internally. I think this could shrink what you could expect from Starfield at E3 to something like a trailer, right? A lot of us have been talking about the potential of a E3 stage debut where Todd Howard shows a lot of gameplay. But if it's not coming out this fall, then there is always the possibility that Starfield has a showcase of some kind later in the year. I think that makes a lot of sense, and that's actually kind of exciting if we get a reveal, like a gameplay trailer for Starfield here in June. They're like, it's coming 2022, and then at QuakeCon, which Bethesda already confirmed, we sit down and we see, wow, there's this full stage presentation for the game, kind of like what they did with Skyrim, except Skyrim came out in the fall, of course. It's very much not like Bethesda Game Studios to do the fall, but this is something and once again, that same circle of people I've been talking about in this whole video have said in the past. So when it came to Starfield, a lot of people thought, oh, that's just covering his ass. No, this was the notion of game development when it comes to COVID. Of course, with vaccines, it's getting a little bit easier, but QA was the biggest bitch of them all, right? Getting these games tested rigorously was very important to make sure that they were working so we didn't have big buggy launches, and it constantly delayed the development of these games. Of course, now the working from home, the shifting of tools and stuff has been done by a lot of companies where there is adjustments that have already occurred. It slows some things down. We've seen reports of that, like CD Projekt Red with their War Room. They didn't have that. And I think that is legitimate for a lot of companies. They like to have that, last minute push, everyone on deck, 100%. Development has been impacted. So I've been saying this for a while. A lot of people have been saying this for a while, that there's a chance this slips to 2022. And it would make sense. With Game Pass, it does make a little bit of sense to have something a little more additive, like saying, hey, you have this coming in the fall being Halo Infinite. You can get that through Game Pass. Multiplayer's free to play. And then you have Starfield Q1 2022. So you kind of have this, what we talked about with Bethesda Game Studios being acquired, rolling quarters. And it's great for someone like Bethesda Game Studios who has struggled with polish, that having Microsoft at their back, maybe they don't need to hit that Q4 window. Maybe it is just hitting the first part of the year. And it doesn't have to be March, where that's usually where some of the big launches happen. It could be something like February. That would be kind of cool, especially with Bethesda Game Studios doing that 11-11-11 with Skyrim. What about like February 2nd, 2022 or February 22nd, 2022? I mean, that would be cool as hell. I would love to see that. That would allow that 2-2-2-2-2, kind of like the Skyrim thing. I don't know. I'm getting carried away now. But yeah, this is something we talked about for a while. So once again, may not be crazy news to you, but sure, we'll talk about it. Last but not least, new Starfield screenshot. Here it is on screen once more. We showed it at the beginning of the video. But yeah, this one's a pretty clean image, and I know people are kind of excited because the textures look pretty good. You can see the reflections on the floor. This is still apparently that same 2018 build, so hey, maybe it looks way better now. But that's all I've got for you in this Starfield news update. Sorry if it came across a little more aggressive than usual. Like I said, I'm just kind of tired of how information's flowing in gaming, and I'm going to continue to fight that to the best of my abilities. And I'm sure that won't make a lot of friends in the process. I imagine, someone will eventually have something to say to me, but I'm going to continue to speak my mind. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say down below. Be sure to fire away. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to push all the content we're making here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all.